Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with Andrew Velez and Joe Dehls, and it's now episode 217. In this episode, we have a special guest on the show. Four-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro, is currently on the 4-0 Philadelphia Eagles. Big play.
Come on now. Come on now.
What's good?
What's going on, Big Play? How you doing today, King?
Man, I'm doing good, man. How y'all doing?
I'm doing great, man.
Doing amazing.
Feeling blessed.
Especially after the Rams caught the L versus the Niners.
Yeah,
I'm feeling amazing right now. All of last season, me and my co-host Drew were having this back and forth about Matthew Stafford. Can you trust him in the playoffs? Can you trust him in big time moments? He inevitably proved me wrong in the playoffs because he had an excellent playoff run.
Facts.
You used to play with him, so I just want to ask you, how was it like with him being on your team for so many years?
Oh, man, bless him, man. He's one of the best out there. He take a lot of heat, because he's just trying to win a lot. But he about winning. He's not about a guy that's about stats, a guy that's just trying to do this. So, I ain't gonna plays that you see him just like making a play. He really be just trying to actually kind of like make a play, man. And he kind of like to force stuff. But that's what come with winning. You got to force a lot of stuff. But and he one of the GOATs for sure.
Say, it seems like a lot of the quarterbacks nowadays, at least, the higher tier quarterbacks are being more aggressive. They're letting the ball fly. They're not really thinking about throwing an interception because they trust their arm that much. Matty's one of those select guys that kind of has that arm that he just trusts himself, sometimes too much, but I'd rather that in a quarterback, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too. That's my dude. So, 7 years strong with him, and that's how he played all his 7 years when I was there. So he continued to keep doing the same thing. So, and it led them to a Super Bowl, so can't complain about it.
Yeah, actually, I saw on TikTok the other day the NFL Films video when he dislocated his shoulder, came back in for the one play, had the game-winning touchdown. It's like, damn, that seems like so long ago. I don't know if you were on that team, but I just came on TikTok. I was like, damn, you have to be different to do something like that. Following year. That's every day though. He used to be played with his back messed up and all kind of stuff. People don't even know. Yeah, did that last year too.
Stafford a tough dude.
He was a warrior, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, still is, but when he was on Detroit, he was different.
Yeah.
A player that's currently on the lines, and this is how you discovered us, Slay, is Amon Ra. We did a Would You Rather, which is something on the show where we say, listen, are you taking this receiver or that receiver? Would you rather? You weren't too happy about it. Tyler Lockett was taking over Brandon Cook, so just say your piece about it.
Yeah, that's not it. That's not, because honestly, no offense to the guy, because he's a good player for sure, great player at all. But we're kind of like push it to the side for him because I had a lot of respect for him because he played the game hard and all. We're kind of pushed to the side because he was talking about another player on the other side of the bench against Washington.
Yep. Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And he's saying like, oh man, that guy's there, don't got how many plays he played. But honestly, my opinion. If they switch roles, he'll be the third option over there too. So you know what I'm saying? He can't talk about another guy's situation like that when his situation would be the same thing if he was in Washington too, because he'd for sure be behind Terry. He'd for sure be behind the first round draft pick, and he'd be the third option.
So where do you draw that line? I know I was watching your interview on the Pivot. I know you're not someone who talks a ton on the field. But I kind of like that from Amon Ra. He keeps track of all the players who are taken ahead of him. He knows Diami Brown, that other side, hasn't been playing as well as he has. So where do you draw the line between having the confidence compared to having, being an ego?
Yeah.
You can't draw the line with the players because who they like. Like he was mad about it, but the line's passed up on him 4 times.
That's true.
So
true. That's pretty true.
What are you gonna get mad about that for? I'll be, it's all the best for everyone. I'm not like a guy that's like who over me or whoever, It doesn't matter. It's all about what you do when you get here. Because when you get here, it doesn't matter no more. Everybody had to start at zero because I done seen guys that go first round and only play 2 years. I've seen a guy that go 7th round and play 12 years. So it doesn't really matter like where I get picked at. And I'm not really worried about them because I want everyone to be successful in this league because, it's a blessing. We're only but 1% that gets to do it. So, why not be, have fun and doing it instead of trying to make it like who's better than who guy when it's like, hey, man, we all here. 1%, 1,500 people in the NFL. So it's a lot of people in this world.
For sure. Listen, we have to talk about it. You've been absolutely clamps all season. Last season, of course. Basically your entire career, let's be completely honest, Slay. But it seems you get older, you just seem to age like fine wine. this season. You've had a couple of matchups. One particular that stands out to all of us, that match is with Jettas. You put on an absolute clinic. But I got to ask you, how was going up against Justin, and how did you feel you were able to be so successful?
Just because film study, me just being a vet in the game, just understanding concepts, understanding route progressions and stuff like that, man. So, like I was telling everybody when they asked me about the question, Jet for sure was the second best receiver in the league to me behind Devontae Adams. So, yeah, man, I just had the best, good game. That's solid game plan I had against him, and executed at a high level. So it was not like a who's better than who. I just think I prepared in a great way to put myself in position to win.
For sure. I was actually doing a little bit of homework, and I watched when you were. It was Pro Bowl weekend. You were having an interview with Kurt Warner. You guys were going over film. And as you were watching the film and as the plays were coming on, you knew exactly what was happening each play before it was happening. It just emphasized the point you're making right now is you are a film junkie. I'm sure of it. And just from watching that video that was years ago when you were with Detroit, to see that it carries over, or for you to continue to say that you just put in the preparation prior to the weeks, I believe it 100%.
Easily. That's how it works, man. This football, and football ain't changed since 1940. They still got the same flat curl, the same spot route, everything since 1940. The only thing they do is dress it up different. So at the end of the day, I just kind of look at the final formation and just, it takes only but a split second for me to guess a route.
It was funny because you in your mind, you were like, man, I should have had that pick. And that's what made you call it out so quickly. And he was describing the play literally as it was happening perfectly before it even happened. Yeah. So, no, I know Slay puts his work in. So,
got
to continue to add on, we spoke about Jettas a little bit. Is there a guy that you look forward to that you understand this guy's on my schedule? I'm circling this matchup. I'm looking forward to this guy.
Besides Jet, for sure, that was my one this year. Because he's coming out a high year, man, coming off 2 solid first years, like setting breaking records, playing at a high level. Man, I had him circled. As soon as I said, man, let me go start looking at his film right now. So I started a whole offseason. I've been
wow.
I had a little book on him. So I already had a little book on him because there's much respect to his game because I respect this guy enough to hey, I need to be ready way before then. I don't need to be just a week on him. I need to I need about a good month and a half solid on him. So, a lot of guys, I enjoy my offseason for sure, but at the end of the day, I still got a job to prepare for. So, with me being at the age I am, 31, I know okay, so you still fast and all gifted and stuff, but as you get older, sometimes talent do go down. So put myself in better positions to make the plays and all that stuff. So it just made me feel a lot comfortable. So I had to get on him early. If I didn't, it probably could have got ugly. So I ain't want to.
For sure. Nah, you held your own.
It could have got ugly for sure. So I had to prepare for him right. Because if I didn't, man, I've probably been all over Twitter, Slay this, and he been gritty and all up in it.
I like that they put you man-to-man on him for the majority of the game because we saw in week 1, the Packers played a lot of soft zone. And I feel like there's been different coverages on Jettas all season, but the fact that you were able to line up man-to-man, and that's what you like doing the most, and you were able to shut him down, and you had 2 interceptions, I believe, in that game, but you could have easily had 4 or 5. I mean, Kirk didn't stop throwing to you. I was watching the game, and I was like, can Kirk stop throwing to Slay, please?
Man, I was like that, too, because honestly, I was tired as hell. Bro, stop throwing ball over here. Can I get a breath? But, hey, with them being down by the way they was, why not? As a quarterback, if I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go by swinging. So I'm gonna throw it to my best guy on the offense. So understand it, but at the end of the day, come on, bro. It's I'm solid right now. I kind of got a great game plan. Can you go somewhere else with it for a second?
Go to Cage and go to Thielen, go to somebody else.
I think what's cool, especially you said you just turned 31 years old. We saw the last 2 years. This previous year saw Derek Stingley both go top 5. The year before, J.C. Horn, Pat Surtain go in the top 10. So out of these young corners, I mean, you're still on the top of the game with Jalen Ramsey, Jair's, all those guys. Yeah. But out of those young corners who are coming up, have you seen one that has stood out or one that's no, he's next up. He's going to enter this conversation in the next couple of years?
Yeah. So my favorite young corner right now for sure is
I know who he's gonna say. say.
Pat Surtain.
He's that boy. He's that boy. He's that boy. He is him.
Him and AJ Him and AJ by far the
Facts.
two best corners in that young age, man. I watched all I told you the young boy Pat, like, hey man, I studied your film so much, I started using some of his techniques that he used. Even though he's a young guy.
Wow.
His dad was a professional too as well, so you can see that he's really, really like technician, man. He gonna be the best corner in the league probably by the end of this year.
Yeah,
easily.
I mean,
You continue to keep playing.
He went up against, I was going to say, sorry to cut you off. He went up against Tay last week and let up less than 50 yards. He was on the left side, the right side.
Every single one of Devontae's targets were heavily contested, too.
Yeah.
So he got his catches, but all of them were heavily contested.
Yeah. I watched the film. He's a dog.
Nah, he's crazy.
He'll be the best corner at the end of this year or in start of next year for sure.
And the week before against Debo, no catches. It's just... He's really that
week
guy.
In
he
and
can
week
do
out.
everything at a high level, an
passer
extremely
too.
elite level.
He's so big. He's so big.
He is. And you wouldn't think that just looking at the screen. Nah, he's a big dude.
He's a big dude. Real big dude.
Yeah, and we saw for sure. And we saw this against Tay going on the left side of the field, the right side of the field. Like they went out and said, you're gonna be on Tay. We have that faith in you. That's something that a lot of, especially in today's NFL, like we saw back in the day with like Revis, obviously he would go and follow everyone. But I feel like in today's league, there's only select amount of corners who could go and follow on both sides of the field. And Surtain has been in that conversation.
Slay, if it isn't obvious, I'm a Broncos fan. So I just had an inclination. I seen you and Sherm on Twitter going back and forth saying that Pat is that dude. So, oh, man, I'll tell you what, I'm excited to be a Bronco fan. I'm excited to have two on my side.
Now, Drew, you had your moment. You're a Broncos fan. Joel and I, we're Jets fans, and we have a young corner in Sauce Gardner. They started creating a graph. It says lost in the sauce.
Yeah, that's tough.
And it has each player. What are your thoughts on Sauce so far?
Oh, I love Sauce. So when I was in Detroit for so long, Sauce from Detroit. So he was at King High School. I remember talking to him as a little kid. Him coming up, going to their games, watching him play, all that. So he's been, me and him DM probably about his senior year in high school junior year and senior year in high school, just talking about him because he sent me to my first King game. So, man, I've been watching him for the longest, man. He's been watching me for the longest. So it was just like crazy to see a guy, that was kind of like, I ain't gonna say I mentored him crazy or nothing like that because we only met a couple of times, but to see him get to where he at now is a blessing for me to, that I reached out to him. He reached out to me. It's good, but he's a dog too, So I watched this film the other day. He got a great coach. My DB coach that's with me in Detroit got him right now. So I know the only what the sky's the limit to me. My coach told me great things about him, man. He's a hard worker, and he gonna be one of the best too for sure.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Exciting.
Now the Eagles right now, you guys are 4-0, undefeated, the only undefeated team left in the NFL. Sometimes teams start off great early. They lose some momentum later down the line. How do you guys stay even-keeled and make sure that you just got to focus on the next game and next opponent and hopefully hold up that Lombardi trophy at the end of the season?
Man, our main goal is we're not really worried about being 4-0, honestly. We just trying to be 1-0 each and every week. So our mindset is just like, hey, man, we 4-0 in this week, but we trying to end the week 1-0. So we just go out there, keep working, and preparing like we just know. Of course, we know what the record is, but in our minds and being a professional, man, we got to look past that because this is only but the beginning. Only the real football starts in December. Yeah. And the playoff, you go straight to 0-0. So nobody even worry about the regular season and go straight to back to 0-0 because, what the Patriots 16-0. The Giants was what, 8-9 or something like that.
8-8, facts.
Wild card finish, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter. It's all about the team that's be hot at the right time and at the right moment. So we real focused, man. We real locked in, man. Our coach doing a great job of keeping us locked in. So we not worried about that undefeated match. We worry about like winning the next week, winning the week after. Good chance before 4-0 is the best thing to go 5-0. So we just keep trying to go 1-0 every week, though.
Slay, let me ask you, what's different from last year to this year? Last season, we saw you guys really take that step from the year prior. You guys seem to be the surprise, to the outside. Of course, not to you guys always believed in yourself. Right. But what's the difference from last year to this year where you guys just seem to be clicking on all cylinders?
I think it's just a approach of how our leaders on the team kind of did it, man. We had like a brief meeting about how we want to be, what we want to see, and what we want to accomplish as a team. And guys are really following the directions as in going. And with this being a production league, nobody's not selfish. In a production league, everybody kind of selfish because you only get paid by your production. A lot of guys are here playing for each other, playing for the next man beside them, playing for the name on the back of their jersey and for this organization. So they put the money to a side, to win. And that's kind of hard to do that in this kind of area because it's a production league. But these guys over here really just playing for each other and we playing hard for each other. And that's what really carrying us a long way right now.
Yeah, and I'm sure you could ask this in every interview, but we got to ask about Jalen Hurts, right? I know I'm the only one at this table who, for a year plus, been a believer in Jalen. And
right.
One of the reasons is because I feel like some of the most successful quarterbacks in the league have overcome, right? He had to transfer from Alabama. Tua took his job, went to Oklahoma. It was phenomenal. Second round pick, wasn't even selected in the first round, had to sit behind Wentz. His first couple games, was kind of iffy. Year 2 made progress. Now year 3, we see a big leap from Jalen Hurts in that MVP talk. And I know the production on the field speaks for itself, but like I mentioned, showing the leadership that he has, the charisma, what he talks about in the presser, working out in the offseason. What have you seen from Jalen Hurts? Maybe not just on the field, but possibly behind the scenes that we don't see.
Behind the scenes, man, one thing he does a lot, man, he asks questions, and as a man, it's kind of hard to ask another man for help. So he got the mindset of, hey, man, what coverage this was y'all did to me to make me, force this throw there. Because that's his read kind of stuff. So we did our best job in the camp and all season and OTAs to help him, progress as a player. And that's with him being asking questions. So he does a great job at that. And then other than that, man, he work hard, man. He a real workhorse. He a guy that really wants to be the best at his job, and he loves his job. So sky's the limit for him, man. I'm happy for him. I'm so happy for him. I ain't gonna lie. I'm real happy for him. Because, like you said, man, he was in Alabama, got benched, went out, or had to transfer to go play somewhere else. Then come to the league, sit behind Wentz, and finally it's his time. Like he overcome so much, and to be honest, he liked that. He liked the feeling like that. He loved to prove people wrong, and he gonna continue to keep doing that for years and years to come. Because I honestly can say for sure he's like the future for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Slay, I feel like I gotta ask you this question because for me personally, over the last couple of years, especially when the rule changes first really got implemented for you guys, it seems as if a lot of these rules were put in favor to benefit the wide receiver. And I've always been an advocate for cornerback is probably, in my opinion, the second toughest position. I hate to, if this sounds disrespectful, I feel like I'm being very respectful here. You have quarterback and then you have the cornerback. Let me ask you, do you believe that the cornerback is the hardest position in football to play as of right now?
Yes. I mean, besides the quarterback, but if it's outside the quarterback, it's cornerback because it's tough. You know what I'm saying? It's just like all the PI calls. It's an offensive league. Everybody wants to see points. Everybody wants to see guys go for 600 yards passing. You got all these quarterbacks that's so talented with these strong arms and I'm talking about zipping it. We got Josh Allen just throw that thing 70 yards zipping. That's not even in the air, just straight line speed. So stuff like that, it's just hard to guard. And to be guarding stuff like that, you got to be elite in that, and that's why the corners are really getting paid. 20 million and stuff now. So it's kind of tough, So, man, I think it's for sure the hardest position besides the quarterback. It's not even close, except in left tackle.
Facts.
Yeah, so after that, it's quarterbacks, corners, and left tackles. And ain't nothing else.
You mentioned that quarterbacks are zipping it more than ever before now. Josh Allen, he's lights out. Mahomes, I can name a plethora of guys.
Yeah.
Since you've been in the NFL, how have you seen the quarterback position progress? Are there just more great quarterbacks in today's NFL?
Way more. Like the talent down at quarterback ranges is outrageous, So it's just like, it's like night and day. It's just really crazy. Like nobody seen that like Mahomes in forever. They can't compare Mahomes to nobody besides Aaron Rodgers.
Facts.
So it's, you got Josh Allen, who you could compare to Josh Allen as a quarterback that can run and throw it that hard and that accurate. We can't even think of an old name like that, So it's tough, You got Lamar Jackson. You might could say Vic, but so it's light years away right now. Like the quarterback comparison, I don't know, disrespect to like the older generation, but these kids here way more talented.
and they're all different too, right? You have Lamar, who's different from Josh Allen to Mahomes, and one guy I know you play with at Mississippi State was Dak, and now being rivals in the NFC East. So when you play against the Cowboys, you did it last year, you're gonna do it this year as well. Do you think you have the advantage over Dak, or does Dak have the advantage over you?
That's a good question.
Ooh, I always got the advantage over Dak.
That's what I was expecting, but
yeah, I always got the advantage because I'm older. I'm the big brother.
Yeah.
I know the game. He know the game well, but we got much respect for each other, man. But I always got the advantage.
Yeah.
I'm always gonna have the advantage.
So we don't want to hold you here too long, Slay. We want to thank you for your time, but we have some fan questions that guys ask. So first question here: how hard was the transition from college to the NFL?
It was hard because the hardest thing that people don't understand in college from the NFL is the stripe on the ball. It's hard to see. I played corner.
Yep.
So when I was in college, I could easily pick the ball because I see the little white stripe around it. But when I got to the NFL, oh man, that's why I got so many PBUs because I didn't know how close it was. So I was slapping it down. So I'm like, I'm gonna slap it because if I don't catch it, you ain't catching it. So as I got older though, the ball kind of slowed down. I could see it more clear. But my first 2-3 years, man, I couldn't see the ball that good. Definitely them deep balls.
I was gonna say you figured it out. You had 8 interceptions one year. You
figured
it out.
I figured out about 2 or 3 years later, but it took a minute. I could have had more picks now. I could have probably been in my 30s by now.
And the internet was going crazy when Jamar Chase said that last year about how the ball was different. Everyone's like, oh, he's a bust. He's dropping all these balls in the preseason. Now he's one of the best receivers. I don't know if this is a fan question, but what kind of music do you listen to? Going into pregame, going to the game, what do you listen to?
Man, I listen to some good slow music first.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I step on the field, I got to turn that Rod Wave on.
Oh, let's go.
That's real.
You know.
That's real.
That album was
Gotta
fire.
go crazy.
Rod Wave is like that.
Fire. I might be going to this concert. That album was fire.
Yeah,
I'm for sure going to the concert.
Yeah.
As Rod Wave has such a great balance of music, like it's like you can turn up to it, but it's also like sad music
yeah.
too.
Facts.
It's a
I
little,
need that pain.
Of course.
So second question here, there's 6 questions, 6 fan questions. How is the overall team chemistry in Philadelphia opposed to your time in Detroit?
Well, both teams are both well connected. I've been with, there's not really too much separation and like connection, but only thing different about that is more like talent wise. My talented team I've been on was 2014 in Detroit. We went to the playoffs. We were like 11-5.
Y'all had a squad.
And in Philly right now, this is the most talented team I played with too. So these 2 are my most talented teams I played in the league. But the vibe always been good. I got a lot of brothers in Detroit, man. I learned how to be a man in Detroit. I know how to be a better father in Detroit, and I knew how to be a better pro in Detroit. So so Philly got a more experienced me. So it's not a real big toss up. I think I got great people in both relationships. So I'm just blessed enough to be part of both organizations.
One of my best friends, he's actually a Detroit Lions fan. You were one of his favorite players. He rode for you whenever people would not mention your name in the top 5 cornerbacks rooms. He always would be in conversation, come with me and say, listen, you got to throw some respect on Darius Slay's name. But his question to you was, what was your favorite moment in Detroit?
Ooh, my favorite moment in Detroit, man, honestly, man, besides football, was going to high school games and hanging out with some high school kids because I do that a lot even when I'm here in Philly. Man, I used to pull up to high school kids games and watch them play, and man, these kids are electrifying. So like I wasn't dunking in 9th grade like that. These guys dunking in 8th grade, with legs and all kind of stuff. Before everybody knew who Amani Bates was, I was watching him in Michigan before he was like in the 8th grade. And watching him develop as a player, it's like I've seen a lot of guys, and Detroit had a lot of good basketball and good football. So Donovan Peoples-Jones, I watched him. I worked out with him. He worked out with me before. So I've seen a lot of kids kind of like, even my own little person on my teammate, Vontae Maddox, he was there. So it's like, yeah, I met a lot of good things in Detroit, man. So I got some real great connections with kids in Detroit, man. That's one of my big things. I like to affect kids. And try to be a like game changer for them, because a lot of guys in my position not like humble as me. They more like stuck up and all kind of other stuff. But I'm one of the guys that kind of like to meet kids and like try to change their lives, give them a better perspective about life.
Hey, you coming onto the show and having a conversation with us is a testament to that.
Yeah,
so,
without a doubt.
100%.
Oh yeah, I appreciate y'all bringing me on, man.
Of course, I
like y'all podcast. It's funny.
Thank you. That's surreal.
Who's your NBA team?
I'm a big Lakers fan, because of Kobe.
Oh, okay.
Slay, I'm copping the jersey.
The
That's all I needed. I'm copping the jersey.
Come on, man. I'm a big Lakers fan.
Okay, I respect that.
You listen to slow music before the game in the locker room. Listen to Rod Wave on the field. Do you have any other pregame rituals?
Not too much, really. I try to keep it same because I only want to switch my luck up. So I just do the same thing, go out there the same stuff. I'll be cautious. I'll have to wear the same shirt.
I was gonna say you're superstitious.
Yeah. I like to, if I'm at a away game, I gotta like wear white. I'm at a home game, I gotta wear like black. I got to. It just. I don't know. It's just something about it.
I don't think we got to this question. You mentioned Tay and Dehls as two of the best receivers in the game. Who rounds out that top 5? Because I know you had a problem with Amon Ra. You know, like who's in that elite tier?
Ooh, you got both Jefferson. I mean, not Jeff. I always said Jefferson, but chasing that conversation, Stephon Diggs and Cheetah. Cheetah, my number 3.
I was gonna say Tyreek's one of those that. You mentioned Tay, you mentioned Dehls. It seems like Tyreek never gets that respect of the, and I'm not saying just you, I'm talking generally.
Tyreek they just think because he just faster than everybody that's the only way he can do it. And then he can't
just
come out.
From
well,
everybody.
that's the case. Y'all need to back up deeper and stop letting run past you.
It's you look at Tyreek Hill, he's completely changed the way that teams draft the wide receiver position. Everyone's looking to draft the next Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
Everybody's looking for that. He really changed the game, as in like, we need this. That's why you see a lot of teams right now playing a lot of too high because of him.
Yep,
that's facts.
And we have a fan here, your boy Nick. Shout out to him. He asked a great question. It's a personal one. He says, "I know you're a family man. What does it mean to you to be a father, especially since being a dad at a young age? What has being a father done to you in your life?"
Ooh, motivated me to get where I'm at today. Me having a kid at 15 was real tough, but without having no kid, I don't know if I'd be here for sure because I ain't had no kind of motivation as in just in myself as like, I could be this NFL player or whatever. But when I had him, man, it kind of opened my eyes to say as in like, hey, Slay, you got to do something. You got to take care of kid. And me working at anywhere to 9 to 5, I did not want to do. So I said, well, God gave me this gift to go play football, but I'm trying to use it to my best ability and try to do what I can. And man, it got me to be one of the best in the game. So I'm thankful for him, man, because without him, I don't know what I'd be doing.
Slay, if it wasn't football, what would you be doing?
I'd be a gamer.
Yeah? Oh, yeah? What's your favorite games to play?
Man, I play Warzone, all the sports games, Madden, 2K, Fight Night. I play everything. After I get off here, I'm finna pop up on the stream.
Tough.
You play 2K. Apex Legends?
Nah, they tell me to keep getting into it. I'm gonna try. I went from PUBG to the Warzone.
Yeah.
And then everybody keeps saying, go to Apex, go to Apex. So I'm going to give that a try one day.
Apex is a little slow. I think PUBG, Warzone's a little faster. But Apex is a little slow for me.
Apex, I'm going to try it, though, because everybody keep asking me, though.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great game.
I was going to say, the new Modern Warfare is about to come out.
Yeah, I'm ready for that.
Yeah, shoot something
up. So thank you so much, Slay, for being on the Pick Side Podcast. Man. We appreciate your time, man.
Thank you, bro. Thanks.
It's a blessing.
Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all.
Slay, before you go, is there anything or anyone that you want to shout out?
Nah, man. Just shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all letting me come on, man. For real.
Thank you, Slay. We appreciate that, King.
Man.
All right, now. Y'all have a good one.
Take it easy, dude.
You too.
Good season.
All right, now.